While negotiations over the entry of Turkey into the EU are stalling, for the first time in its history, the financial institution of the European Union, the European Investment Bank, has held its regional convention in Istanbul, in cooperation with the Turkish Finance Ministry, a symbolic choice.
This is, if you so want, a signal to both sides. We hope that the Turkish public is interested in this. But it's also important for our shareholders, which are the member states of the Union, that they see that the loans in Turkey really work and help to pave the way for accession.
The EIB is on the field in Turkey for more than 40 years. Its financial aid is essentially concentrated on the infrastructure of the country. It also backs the private sector, especially small businesses. The speed of investments really took off between 2005 and 2009, in parallel with the process of adhesion to the EU. The total amount during this time frame reaches 10 billion euros. An example, the project that aims at protecting the economical capital of the city, Istanbul, against earthquakes. The city is built over a fault line, and for centuries the movement of earth plates regularly causes enormous human and material damage. Here, everybody remembers the last big one. It was 10 years ago.
With my wife and my kids, we've all panicked. We were so afraid we haven't even had time to look from the window. I felt the tremors. I saw the buildings swing left to right. I think the constructions in Istanbul are badly done and very old compared to the other countries, like Japan, with a solid infrastructure.
The majority of the buildings are not built to resist the seismic tremors. In case of a major earthquake, the experts predict a grim outcome. More than 15,000 people wounded or dead, and a financial impact of an estimated $2.5 billion.
The objective of the project to prepare the Istanbul city against earthquakes, and mainly we are focused on retrofitting, strengthening the public buildings, especially schools and hospitals, and also dormitories, social service buildings, and administrative buildings.
The project started 4 years ago, and today hundreds of buildings have already been consolidated or reconstructed, out of which about 400 are schools. Since recently, the project also concerns museums.
We want to cover 100% of the public buildings, especially, but with our budget, now with the nearly 1 billion euros, maybe 50% of our public buildings will be safe.
The protection efforts also concern infrastructure projects, like the first bridge over the Bosphorus, which was financed by the EIB in the 60s, or the project Marmara, currently built with an EIB backing of about 1 billion euros. A tunnel dug at 60 meters under the Bosphorus Strait, which will link the European and Asian shores of the city. The tunnel will also carry high-speed rail connections, such as subways, and a line between Istanbul and the capital, Ankara. The 12 to 15 million inhabitants of Istanbul are closely following the advancement of the work, which will allow for the decongestion of the city center, extremely cluttered by cars, and link the economical capital to the other cities. The EIB has been at the front line of investment in Turkey since the middle of the 60s. With the conclusion of the convention, the European leaders have underlined their will to continue future cooperation with promoters in the public and private sector, as the Turkish government did with its wish to enter the EU.
We try to use these projects to support an adaptation of what we call the acquis communautaire, which is the set of European standards.
Which shows that Turkey has the economic infrastructure to compete with the European Union. In fact, in certain sectors, we are a lot more competitive. So clearly, we are ready, and we hope that the European Union will start looking at Turkish accession from a more strategic, from a more macro perspective in the long run.
Even if economically ready, it is clear that Turkey's access to the EU will be played on the political field. Another important project ahead for the government.